Is anyone else as happy as I am that we don't have to hear from Alex Cora until 2025?
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey. This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB and use code all lowercase LockedOnMLB to win $50 instantly when you play $5. We are live. I'm here by myself. We have a lot to talk about. Before we get started, don't forget, subscribe to the podcast on whichever podcasting platform you prefer. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, like our videos, hit the bell so you're notified when those videos go live, like this one. So today's show, it's Minors Monday. We're going to let you know how Hudson Valley's doing in the playoffs. And did Somerset make the playoffs? Woo! But first, we have to talk about the Yankees and the Red Sox because everything's ridiculous. Everything about the series is ridiculous. We're going to start with Sunday because Sunday is the most recent game. It's fresh in our minds. Carlos Rodon. What can you say about him? You know, sure, he gave up the home run and, you know, he usually gives up solo home runs. There was a stat that they showed before the game. Him and Cutter Crawford are like neck and neck in giving up solo home runs this season and home runs. Cutter Crawford leads, I believe, the AL, and Rodon is right behind him. And they both, 70% of the home runs or 75% of the home runs that they both give up are solo shots. And then, of course, he gives up the 2-run shot to Tyler O'Neill. And then Cutter Crawford, he had not had a good stretch record-wise, but ERA-wise, he had done well. The team just hadn't played well behind him. He hadn't really given up a lot of runs. And then the Yankees actually got to him, which was great because after Saturday, which we'll get to in segment 2, the Yankees needed that. So Rodon is 4-0 with a 2.22 ERA in his last 5 home starts. So that's good because if the Yankees pull off a miracle and win the division. They're up 3 games right now, but you never know. There's 12 games to go. I wouldn't mind seeing him starting at home. He reached his career high 15th win. My bold prediction was 17. And if he didn't have those bad starts in the middle there, I could have been right. Oh, well. The offense. Stanton got everything started with the RBI double. Jazz, with his great running, scores. Stanton also added a sac fly, I believe, right, to make it 5-2. And Judge and Glaber go deep. Judge is alive. He's alive, everyone. Are we excited about that? Because that was a long, homerless streak for him, longest of his career. He was just fouling off balls. He was starting, like, you could tell he was getting close within the last few days. And finally... Finally. Let me just look at some comments. Oh, hi. 38 people, 42 comments. How is everyone doing on this Sunday night? 3 out of 4 ain't bad. Not that Meatloaf saying that. He's saying 2 out of 3, but I'm happy with 3 out of 4. It's not very easy to sweep a 4-game series. It's just odd that the Cole start is the one that was the bad one. Again, we'll get to that in segment 2 because there's a lot to talk about with regards to Saturday, and I don't want to talk about it just yet because I have some thoughts and I just want to recap Friday and Sunday. So also on Sunday, the bullpen. Can we give it up for the bullpen? We've been bagging on them. What's the phrase? 1.16 ERA in the last 10 games. On Sunday, 3 2/3 innings. They only give up 2 hits, 0 runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks. Hamilton, Hill, Holmes, Cousin, Canely. Canely gets Jarren Duran to ground into his second double play of the game. And up to that point, he only had 4. So That was great. I was a little worried. I'll admit it. I was a little worried in the ninth inning. I was like, but. And then Weaver wasn't available because he threw 35 pitches on Friday. And speaking of Friday, Judge, we have to talk about the Grand Slam. My goodness, that game could have been a disaster for a couple of reasons. One, it would be a letdown after the night before when they walk off. And then, they walked off the game before that. And they're riding high on a win streak. And Friday, they're down 4-0 in the seventh. And you're just thinking, great, the good vibes are done from those 3 games. Here we go again with the Red Sox. It was just that kind of a feeling. And like everything could have been ruined from the good vibes from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then Glaber starts things off with the RBI single. He's been hitting a lot lately. Can we give Glaber Torres some credit here? Because he's been doing really well lately. And, he's doing good doing well. That's the correct grammar at the top of the order. And then the bases are loaded for Judge after Soto walks. And, 369, it wasn't like a Judge bomb, right? But it gets him going. He needed that. I think he needed that worse than we did, right? So that just changed everything. I mean, I'm just struck by how loud the stadium got. It sounded like a playoff game. Kudos to the fans, by the way. I had chills. I thought it was the greatest thing. The crowd just went absolutely bonkers. And I was just so happy that he did that because he needed that. He needed the home run, the fact that it was a grand slam, the fact that it was in the seventh inning when they were down 4-1 at that point. And he needed to have a moment like that. Like, I'm the captain. I'm going to take over and I'm going to win this game for us. And he did. And then Luke Weaver, holy cow, Luke Weaver, 2 innings, 5 strikeouts for his second save of the season, ends the game on a strikeout. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. So the Yankees are 7-3 in their last 10. They're up 3 again because the Orioles lost to the Tigers. Thank you, Riley Green, for hitting 2 home runs. Appreciate it. The Yankees have a plus 123 run differentials, the best in the AL. They also own the AL's best record. Not bad for a team that we complain about all the time, right? We complain too much. Dodgers fans complain too much. That's just how things are. Now, I wanted to address this. This comment came up before the stream started from Reaper. Hey, Stacey, I saw you in 9 innings from ground zero. I almost didn't recognize you. Well, the reason you almost didn't recognize me was that was filmed when I was 29 years old. It was filmed in March of 2004, and it premiered in September 2004, after I had turned 30. I also didn't wear glasses back then. And yeah, but I'm glad some of you ended up watching. I should have warned you that you needed tissues because it is that sort of a documentary. But thank you for watching. And I know some people make it like an every year sort of thing that they do around 9/11 because it has to do with 9/11 and the Yankees and the Mets and how baseball healed the city, basically. And like I said, I would recommend it even if I weren't in it. It's that good. But because I'm in it, I have to tell you guys to watch it. So we didn't talk about Saturday yet and the hullabaloo surrounding it, but don't worry, we're discussing it in the next segment. But first, don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, hit the notification so you know when our videos go up. Also, reply to the pinned comment on our videos Monday through Thursday if you would like your questions answered for Fan Mail Friday. Or you can join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club and get top priority and be in segment 1 and 2 for our Fan Mail Friday episodes. The link is in the description to join. You'll get text from me. You can text me questions. There's a 14-day free trial. All right. Coming up, we have to talk about Saturday and the aftermath of Saturday. You've heard us all talk about FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Well, now we have something a little different for you. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then, with a YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel at any time. That seems pretty cool. Now, since we're a baseball podcast, let's quickly talk about some of the Yankee numbers. To win the division, they're -800. To win the AL pennant, they're +200. And to win the World Series, they're +500. And you can even bet on World Series matchups. Do you think the Yankees will play the Dodgers? You can bet on that. Just visit FanDuel.com and download America's #1 sportsbook. Welcome back to Locked On Yankees. Don't forget, you can catch every pitch of the Yankees hometown broadcast with SiriusXM. Just download the SXM app and search the word Yankees. So let's discuss Saturday, because Saturday was stupid. It was stupid, okay? It was stupid. It was embarrassing. I can't even believe that game happened. I can't believe what happened during the game. I was so annoyed with everything. And then the post-game comments made it even worse. Okay. Gerrit Cole was cruising. The only blemish up until he intentionally walked Rafael Devers was when he hit Rafael Devers. He didn't mean to hit Rafael Devers. You could tell by his reaction, he did not mean to hit him. And I don't like Alex Cora making it seem as if Gerrit Cole was hunting Rafael Devers. I mean, first of all, it cut inside and hit him on the hip or the rear end, whatever it was. But the intentional walk, I had joked in Devers' first at bat for Cole to walk him. And then he hit him. And I said, well, don't do that. Kidding around on Twitter. And then he throws up the 4 fingers. And I'm thinking, what is he doing? What is he doing? I know that Rafael Devers beats up on Gerrit Cole, and I'm sure obviously he's got to be in his head. He probably has nightmares about Rafael Devers. But to see the reigning Cy Young champ, and I know he hasn't been the same this season because of the injury, and he's still really coming back from it. But to see the reigning Cy Young winner, throw up his 4 fingers like I was ordering tacos. I put in the rundown. Let's, pull back the curtain. We have, tabs. I said, what an S show. Everything about it, so stupid. The intentional walk was one of the silliest things I've ever seen. The Yankees' explanation for it was even sillier. Because it was. The fact that Boone said, oh, well, we spoke about it before, but I wasn't really expecting him to do that. And even better, Austin Wells had no idea. They didn't discuss this with him beforehand. He's only catching Gerrit Cole. Why would they involve Austin Wells in the conversation? It's humiliating. And that really could have ruined the good vibes of the series with the way that game went. Right? So he gives up the 3 runs in that, 4th inning? And then 4 runs in the 5th inning. And he gets taken out down 7-1. He just completely unraveled Cole. I just couldn't believe it. Then Alex Cora admitted that Brian Bayo was trying to hit Judge when he threw behind him in the 6th inning on Saturday. What? And Like I don't think you're supposed to admit that. I think you can get in trouble for admitting that you were trying to hit a player in retaliation. And then he said that everything that happened was motivation for them, if they make the playoffs. This is the quote. I'll put it up and read it for you. If this happens, making the playoffs, we're going to look back at yesterday. We're probably going to thank Garrett Cole for getting us going. Hopefully it happens, and hopefully we can face him in the playoffs because he will have to pitch to him. Hopefully it happens. We still have a long way to go. I'm not promising that we're going to make the playoffs, but if we do, we're going to look back on Saturday. And then the Yankees came out and won on Sunday. Thank you for doing that. But what do you all think? I'm seeing a lot of comments, so I'm going to look at them right now. But yeah, thank you. Jared Williams, Cora is being a crybaby. I don't like Alex Cora. I have a big problem with Alex Cora because of his connection with the Astros and all that other stuff. And I have many, many thoughts about Alex Cora that I can't repeat here, and I won't. But I don't like him. I really don't. I don't like how much he complains about everything. I don't like the way he made it seem. I just don't like the way he came off this weekend. And that's why I joked in the open that I'm glad we don't have to hear from him until 2025. Boston fans will have to hear from him for the next 2 weeks, but we won't have to hear about him or from him until 2025. Thank goodness. But I guess he's trying to get his team fired up, but the Yankees thankfully nipped that in the bud and took the series 3 out of 4. They won the season series, correct? Let me double check that because I thought I saw that. But I just want to make sure because I don't want to get that wrong. But let's see. So the Yankees have 87 wins, 63 losses. Not bad for an absolutely awful team, right? Right? Because we always talk about how awful they are. Like I said, 7-3 in the last 10. Baltimore's falling apart. Yeah, they won the season series 7-6 after that horrible start that they had. Reminds me of 2009 when they started 0-6 against them and they ended up winning the season series 10-9 against the Red Sox because they had issues with them. I was at the 4-game sweep in August of 2009. I was at the last game when Damon and Tex went back-to-back after Victor Martinez put them ahead 2-1. And Damon hit the home run. And I thought, okay, cool. And then Tex hit his home run. And I said to my brother, I said, they're winning the World Series. You realize that, right? Like there's no way they're not winning the World Series this year. I could feel it in my bones. I was right. I don't feel that right now. But in 2009, I did after that. I mean, a 4-game series, that's not easy to do. That's not easy to do at all. But let's see some of your comments about what was going on. Yes, exactly. Evan Spitzberg says, and earlier in the year, we weren't doing that well against Boston, so good to win a season series against them. Exactly. They also have a chance, if Baltimore keeps reeling the way they are, the Yankees right now are 4-6 against them. If they can sweep them in the last series, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be easy for them to do that, but they could win that season series 7-6 as well. So you never know. Yes, AA. This is true because Baltimore's playing the Tigers again. Baltimore will be playing Detroit and the Twins, both of whom are in contention for a wild card spot. So both teams will be playing hard to win. Bodes well for the Yankees taking the division. It's true. Now, the Yankees need to do okay on the West Coast trip. We will preview that on Tuesday's show. They start out in Seattle, go to Oakland. By the way, Oakland lost a series to the White Sox this weekend. 2 out of 3. First time the White Sox have won a series since June. They're now 35-113, thanks to the A's. So, woo! Yeah, crazy. So, as I said, successful weekend against the Yankees, 3 out of 4, fantastic. I mean, could you ask for better? Sure, you could ask for a sweep. It's just amusing to me that they lost the Cole start. Because I was joking that maybe they'd lose the Cole start because Devers would hit like 3 home runs against him, but it was a much sillier reason why they didn't win the Cole start. Oh well. All right, coming up next, it's Minors Monday. We didn't do Minors Monday last week, right? So we're doing Minors Monday this week. PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps, on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you watch the winnings roll in. You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can find community plays under the promo tab of the app to view entries from some of the biggest names in the PrizePicks community each week, including Drewski, Joe Budden, and you can even find MMA champ Sugar Sean O'Malley. On Sunday, I picked Joe Mixon of the Texans to get more than 73.5 rushing yards against the Bears, and last I checked, he wasn't even close. Oh well, download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to football. Oh well, welcome back. Remember, you can catch every pitch of the Yankees hometown broadcast on SiriusXM. Just download the SXM app and search the word Yankees. So, in case you weren't paying attention, Hudson Valley won their series against Greensboro. They had won game 1 at home. Then they went to Greensboro, lost game 2, and then they won the deciding game 3 on Friday night. And then the championship series started on Sunday, and they lost game 1 to Bowling Green in Bowling Green. Now, this is an interesting note. Despite allowing just 11 total hits across those 3 games of the North Division series against Greensboro, Hudson Valley allowed 16 hits to Bowling Green in game 1 alone. And 4 of the Hot Rod's batters recorded 3 hits each. So they lost 5-1, but they're heading home for games 2 and 3 on Tuesday and Wednesday. So they can turn this thing around. Hudson Valley likes playing at home, so hopefully they can turn this thing around. But good for them for making it to the championship series. And yeah, hopefully they can do something on Tuesday and Wednesday. I wish I could get up there because it's only about 40 minutes from my house, but I don't drive. And I'm not going to Uber up there either because that's too far to Uber. So, yes, Aaron L. Hudson Valley deserves their first franchise championship. I agree. Oh, let's go back to this. Yes, this is going back to Cole Devers. It is very similar to Jimmy Bernard says, Cole and Devers reminds me of Mariano versus Edgar Martinez back in the day. Mariano hated facing Edgar with good reason. Edgar was scary. He was really scary. He was one of those guys I did not like seeing up against anyone on the Yankees pitching staff. Quickly, before we get to Somerset, I was at Dwight Gooden's no-hitter. I have no idea how the heck he shut down Seattle. I mean, he did have a ton of walks, but I don't know how he no-hit that lineup. That lineup in 1996 was frightening. And we just figured it would end at some point, that someone would get a hit, and no one did. Unbelievable. I spoke to David Cohn on here 3 years ago before we had video. And I asked him, I said, what was it like facing teams like Seattle and Cleveland and Texas with all these like big guys who hit really hard? And he said, yeah, it wasn't fun. It was Tuesday, May 14th, Reaper, May 14th of 1996. I remember it because I had just gotten home from school. I was exhausted. I almost didn't go to the game. And at the very last minute, I said to my father, I'll go with you to the stadium. Good thing I did. So now moving on to Somerset, they clinched a playoff berth. They won 5 out of the 6 that they played against New Hampshire this week to win their 5th straight series. And they went 22-8 in their last 30 games. They had a run differential of 58. So it was 142-80. They outscored their opponents. And I think they went the whole season not winning back-to-back series, and then they rattled off 5 in a row. So they caught fire at the right time, and I believe they finished with the best record in their division in the second half, because you know how the minor league splits first half, second half, and they won second half. So they're heading to the playoffs. So yeah, good things all around for the minors. And hopefully, like I said, Hudson Valley will come back and win games 2 and 3 against Bowling Green. And hopefully Somerset will beat whoever they face. Oh, yeah, that's right. They did get swept by Binghamton. Aaron L. Somerset should do better this year. Yeah. Let's hope. Let's hope. So, as I said, we're going to do a full preview of the series with Seattle on tomorrow's show because Brian will be here. It won't just be me. And I figured it's better to do a preview right before the series starts. I think every single game in Seattle is 9:40. And I think we're going live every night after the games. So it might not be right at midnight because it depends on when the games end. But we're going to do live shows because I'm not staying up till 3 a.m. to edit. Just saying. The A's, like I said, they're playing in Oakland this weekend. The A's lost to the White Sox. Just, and the talk about it before going into the weekend was how great the A's have been since June. They have like one of the best records in baseball, or one of the better records in baseball, while every other team has not been great. I think they showed the A's record compared to the Yankees in Baltimore, because the Yankees in Baltimore are both having a mid-off for the last couple of months. And yeah, hopefully the Yankees won't have their usual "we're in Oakland" problems. Like I said last week, it feels as if the Yankees, no matter how Oakland's doing and no matter how good they are, they lose games in silly ways. I remember, was it 22 or 21? Which year was that? They lost 2 out of 4 in really silly ways to Oakland. You know, a guy who never hits home runs hit a home run against them. That small guy, Terrence Long, is that his name? Just really annoying. So hopefully that won't happen this weekend. And hopefully they'll do okay against Seattle. Again, we'll do a full preview, but that's going to be a tough matchup for the Yankees. They have strong pitching too, the Yankees, but Seattle has 3 good pitchers going up against the Yankees lineup for this week. So we'll see how they do. Hey, Debbie's here. Debbie's an insider. Went to a few of those games in Trenton with my Mets fan husband. How do you do that, Debbie? I tried dating a Red Sox fan once. Yeah, that didn't work. That didn't work at all. Oh, maybe it's Tony Kemp. That's it. Who the heck is Terrence? Terrence Long played like 20 years ago, didn't he? I think that's what it was. That's funny. Yeah, Tony Kemp. Right? Terrence Long? Who's Terrence Long? Did he play like years and years and years ago? Yeah. Yes, this is true. Although not, the West Coast trip that they had earlier in the year, they did really well. Because I think we were kind of like, It's a West Coast trip. It could be bad. And what did they win? 5 out of 6. So you never know. You never know. Aaron, that is totally different. Giants and Yankees, as much as some Giant fans want you to think that there's some sort of rivalry because of the past rivalry from like the 50s, it's not the same. It's really not. Dating a Red Sox fan, married to a Mets fan. I couldn't imagine being married to a Mets fan. It's bad enough some of my relatives are Mets fans. Couldn't do it. Could not do it. Let's see. Debbie, it hasn't been easy, luckily. Yeah, luckily we are both Giants football fans, so suffering together there. Yes, I'm actually surprised your husband isn't a Jets fan just because of the Mets-Jets thing, but there are Mets-Giants fans, so yeah. And there are Jets-Yankee fans, too. Our next-door neighbors were Jets-Yankees. That was their alliance, but they also like the Rangers. Yeah, so that's the cool thing about living in New York with all these different teams. You can have totally different alliances. So that's what happened, right? I remember when it was 1-0 Yankees and Tony Kemp hit the go-ahead 3-run home run and the A's won 3-1. Right. I think I'm picturing it too. Did it go to right field? I think I'm picturing it. So yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I'm glad that this series was, no, that was, I think Terrence Long was the hard of hearing. No, Curtis Pride was the one that couldn't hear, who played for the Yankees and hit that big home run and the whole state, like he could feel the stadium vibrating. That was Curtis Pride. That home run made me cry when it happened, actually. Yeah. But thank you guys for joining me. I'm very glad that this was a successful series against the Red Sox, even with the nonsense that happened on Saturday, after Saturday, and even before the game on Sunday. Oh, and Aaron Judge had a really great quote about Bayo trying to hit him, saying that, if you're going to do that sort of thing, you better not miss, which is why the thumbnail for this video says, you best not miss. I got that from Aaron Judge. So thank you, Aaron Judge. Appreciate it. One more time, you can catch every pitch of the Yankees hometown broadcast with SiriusXM. Just download the SXM app and search the word Yankees. I'd like to thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen today. Go check out the Locked On MLB podcast next. Prepare for the Fall Classic with Sully, who has it all covered every single day. The link to Locked On MLB is in the description, so you don't need to search. It's part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And make sure you check out the Locked On Yankees postcast right here on the Locked On Yankees podcast feed, audio, as well as streaming on the Locked On Sports New York YouTube channel. You get rapid reaction to all the biggest moments with the Locked On Yankees postcast. So that'll do it for this edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. Usually Brian would say, and I'm Brian McKeon, but he's not here. So I will see you guys, and so will Brian, tomorrow, live at some point after the game.